Hi, it's only 912 News, South Pinellas 912. We're over here at Port St. Petersburg, where the USS Eagle, the Coast Guard ship, is berthed for today. And we're going to be asking the question for a Man on the Street segment. The government has given the IRS the responsibility to enforce Obamacare. The question is, can we trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and will we have access to our medical records? This is Sully 912 News. Let's hear what they have to say. Can we trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and will we have access to our medical records?
Probably not.
Okay, thank you.
Probably won't have any access to your medical.
Okay.
You can't trust any government agency. You can't trust Obama. You can't trust any of them. They're all crooks.
Do you think we can trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and will we have access to our medical records?
Well, you have to have access to your medical records already because they belong to you. And the IRS, I don't trust them for anything.
Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and do you think we should have access to our medical records?
I think we should have access to our own medical records, but and I don't think the IRS should be enforcing Obamacare. They can't even enforce the IRS regulations very good, equitably amongst all the citizens. So, no, I don't think they should be enforcing it. You can't trust them.
Excuse me, sir. Can I ask you one question?
Sure.
The government has now entrusted the IRS to be the enforcer for Obamacare. Do you think we can trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and do you think we should have access to our medical records?
Yes.
Excuse me, folks, did you do the tour?
Yes.
You did? How was it?
Oh, it's great. Yeah,
Right.
It's really interesting.
Okay. Can I ask you a simple question? The government has entrusted the IRS to enforce Obamacare. Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and do you think we should have access to our medical records?
Oh, yeah, well, I think less government the better, so that kind of sums it up.
Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare, and do you think we should have access to our medical records?
No, and no.
I think it's time we get rid of the IRS.
We should have rights to anything really, but I don't think we have to worry about anything in this case. It's all overdone.
I think it doesn't matter much what we think. We're going to do what they want.
I think we should have rights to our medical records, and I do not trust the IRS to take care of the Obamacare problem, because I think we're making things worse. The government's getting way too large, and it's taking all the rights away from the people. There's too many things infringing on our, constitutional rights. I don't think they're enforcing it. There's a lot of lying going on.
Excuse me, ma'am. Can I ask you one question?
Yes, you may.
Okay, in 2014, the IRS is going to be enforcing the health care, Obamacare. Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we should have rights to our medical records?
I think we should have right to our medical record.
Okay, and what about the trust to IRS enforcing Obamacare? Do you have any faith or any comment about that?
I have faith in them. I think they should do the right thing. I have faith.
All right.
But of course, they have to open to us to tell us what they're doing. If we don't know, we cannot trust them.
Okay, very good, ma'am. Thank you. Hi, how are you doing?
Good.
Can I ask you two questions?
Sure.
2014, the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare. Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we should have rights to our medical records?
I think we should have rights to our medical records.
Okay, and what about, do you think we have any concern?
You're talking about personally, do we have rights to our medical records?
Yes, ma'am.
Or are you talking about the government?
No, you.
Yes, I want rights to my medical records.
Okay, and what about, do you have any concern about the IRS enforcing Obamacare?
Yes, it's not their job to pick out people, single them out, and try to make them look bad.
Okay.
It has nothing to do with the IRS.
Okay, well, thank you both. Thank you.
I definitely think we would have rights to our medical records, and I'm always suspect of the IRS.
No. Benjamin Franklin says you give up a little security for or a little freedom for security, you deserve neither.
I think we should have rights to our medical records, and I don't trust one thing under the Obama administration, and that's how I feel.
Okay, in 2014, the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare. Do you think we should trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we should have rights to our medical records?
We should have rights to their records.
Why?
Don't trust the damn IRS for anything.
We should have rights to our medical records.
Any concern about the IRS enforcing Obamacare?
Yes, I think they should stop it. Just say no.
I'm not happy with what the IRS is doing and trusting them not right now. And Obamacare, it's going to be tricky. But don't we already have rights to our medical records?
We should have rights to our records under any care.
Okay, any concern about the IRS enforcing Obamacare?
Well, considering their past track record, I don't know if I do trust them.
I would hope we have rights. I'm not sure about that. I never thought of that I wouldn't have rights to my records.
I think we should have our rights to our own medical records. Do I know that we do? I do not know.
Okay, any concern about the IRS enforcing?
Always the IRS is the most question in my mind.
In 2014, the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare. Can you trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we have rights to our medical records?
Well, I think that the IRS can enforce Obamacare. Do I trust them? No.
Okay, do you think you should have rights to your medical records under the Obamacare?
I have rights to medical records. I don't think the IRS should have rights for anything.
I think we have our own rights. The heck with Obamacare.
You have any concern about the IRS, that they'll be the enforcer of Obamacare?
He got this nation upside down right now.
In 2014, the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare. Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we should have rights to our medical records under the Obamacare?
Absolutely not. I don't trust them with a meter maid.
Okay, sir, any comment?
It's a heart attack.
No.
Totally untrustworthy.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Okay.
I think we should definitely be able to trust the IRS, and I think they're going to have to just run a transparent, procedure so that we can see what's going on with it. And
Well, I think a better question is, are we living in a communist country now? That would be more of my answer. Yes, and the fact that anything that I say on here or a telephone or anything at all is said and done, and everyone knows about it. So really, I don't know. I think the Medicare or medical situation is less than what the whole situation is.
Absolutely, we can't trust the IRS.
Okay, what about your rights to your medical records?
We have a right to privacy of our medical records that the government does not know.
Excuse me, ma'am, you have a second? I'll ask you one question.
Sure.
Okay, in 2014, the IRS is going to enforce Obamacare. Do you think we could trust the IRS to enforce Obamacare? And do you think we should have entitlement to our medical record?
Well, I think yes to both. Obama's been doing a great job, and definitely we should have access to our records.